Hello everyone and welcome to Scribe Plays Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. I thought I would experiment with doing a little bit of gameplay footage, just for the heck of it. This game was very generously donated, well I should say gifted to me, donated, by the Ranting Monkey, which I'm very appreciative. I have a long and varied history with the Vampire the Masquerade game, setting, etc. I've done lots and lots of games of the tabletop version, years worth of the live-action role-playing version, or various versions, and have had a lot of fun with the video game incarnations of the setting. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, if I were to give you a capsule summary of the setting, we'd be here for a couple of hours. I know way too much about this setting. The lore, the history, the clans, the powers, the mechanics, just way too much. So here's what I'm going to do. As we play the game, presumably we as the player, so to speak, will learn about the universe as we proceed. And as things come up that either I feel or am inclined to give some kind of supplementary information on, I will do so. Because this universe is large and complex, and like I say, if I was just going to tell you about the lore of the game, I might as well just make a video series just on that. But that'd just be me talking, with nothing interesting to watch. So with that, we're going to start. Now, aside from a little test game that I started just to get the sound levels and recording all sorted out, I haven't actually played the game yet. So we're going to start fresh, and that's why when I hit new game here, it says I'm going to be overwriting a game. So let's begin. Now, one thing I will say is that in the classic Vampire the Masquerade game, generally speaking, you have 7 vampire clans to choose from in making your character. This game only allows you 3. I could kind of see the complications the storytellers in this for this game might have encountered with the other clans available, or that would be available. All the same, it seems a little odd to me that there's only 3. I'm assuming we will run into NPCs from several of the other clans as the game proceeds, but for your edification, the 3 we have to choose from are the Bruja. They are described thusly: the rabble rebel against power and rage against authority. A seemingly insignificant man with significant ideas will join their ranks tonight. Now, he looks very, very Billy Idol. Next we have the Ventru, or the Vontru, if you're being fancy. The aristocratic blue bloods embody wealth, sovereignty, and control. A top-level corporate executive will join their ranks tonight. And thirdly, and lastly, we have the Toreador. The divas seek thrills of art, romance, and cruelty amidst stagnant undeath. A tormented artist will join their ranks tonight. Something that I will probably end up pointing out as we go. I'm assuming that this incarnation of the setting is based on the 5th edition of the Vampire the Masquerade core book. Now, I am a 3rd edition baby, I think the golden age of Vampire the Masquerade. So certain things have been updated, revised since I played the game. Like, for example, the clan symbol here for the Ventru. It used to be just the scepter. There wasn't a sword there the last time I played. For the Toreador, their clan symbols also changed slightly. Also, their nickname wasn't the Divas. They were the Degenerates, or the Artistes if you're trying to be respectful to them. So I find that interesting. So which shall I play? I'm going to go a little bit against type just for variety and pick the Toreador. Reason being, well, in the olden days I would have picked the Ventru. But for my own personality, as I've been for the last couple of years, especially with my Photoshop efforts lately, I guess I'm more of an artist. Plus I have an English degree, so we'll go for that. So thrills of art, romance, and cruelty. Romance. All right, so we'll accept... what's my name? Well, my name is, if I can spell, Scribe. All right, let's go. New York taught me to believe in fate. I guess we don't know who we're talking to. Or who's talking to us. Okay. Had you asked me about fate back when I was human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. That we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate, you decide. Okay. Am I supposed to be saying something here? Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. Was I being hostile? Did I miss something? See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. Careful, Icarus. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. I don't know who our speaker is. I have a feeling that they are also a Toreador. That might just be me. I'd explain that, but again, we'd be here for hours. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation kindred, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me, the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. Okay, what does 9th generation mean? All right, so the very first vampire in the Vampire the Masquerade lore was Cain, of Cain and Abel. He killed his brother. God cursed him to walk the earth forever, never see the light of day again, and the food of the earth would not sustain him, only the blood of his fellow man. That's how he became the first vampire. By 9th generation, that just means that whoever we're speaking to here, if Cain was the first generation, then they are the 9th, level down in descendants at that point. It's very complicated. We'll probably get into it if the game goes that far into explaining the lore. So in other words, these two vampires are, by their blood and by their lineage, moderately powerful. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying, you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. My tools. She considered them toys, I'm sure she did. And me, just her amusing subject. I'm sure that this person is a Toreador now. I'm almost certain now. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. And then an ellipses because, I don't know. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. Okay. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Well, that's classic. Did I ship myself to New York in a coffin? Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York, 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. Okay. Well, I guess you don't have to be eager to inform. Okay, again, I'm assuming that this person is the Prince of New York. The Prince of New York is the vampire that is in charge of all the vampires in New York, just as a shorthand for things. If they are the Prince of New York, if you come to a new city announcing your presence to the one who ruleth there, is one of the laws of the Camarilla, or the Vampire Society, So presumably this person, if they're, are they talking to me? Or is this a prologue? I don't know. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get me wrong. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. Breach the rules of our society. What tradition am I being asked to break? And who am I? I need some context. I'm confused. But this is New York, and I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. Okay. This is how it begins. Okay. You stifle a yawn. Okay. It's been a slow evening. The little bit of red liquid left in your glass and the crumbs on the plate remind you that, if nothing else, these art exhibitions at least come with some decent wine and legit catering. And yeah, it's fun to talk about your work on display, even if you end up discussing it with pretty much the same people at each such occasion. You've already met that one critic who keeps telling you, with self-assured authority, how you should pursue a different artistic avenue. Then there's the obligatory doe-eyed art student who's oh so impressed with your technique. To be fair, you're not all that happy with your latest piece, but hey, it's not the worst thing you've seen tonight. That ignoble, dubious honor belongs to one of the other paintings on display. And yet, its author, currently being paraded around by his rich parents, has barely been able to grab a bite of the fancy canapé. So many sycophants to meet, so little time. For a moment, you think that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you should take the critic's advice, cut your losses, sell out to some corporation, and get it over with. And, as if the universe wanted to validate that train of thought, that's the exact moment your sister Emma decides to pop up in your view. All right. So let me get this straight. Cushy corporate jobs are selling out, but supporting a billionaire's vanity project is totally fine with you? Hi, Em. You absolutely despise her as an artist. While you're struggling to uphold some nebulous ideals of what art is meant to be, she's perfecting her ways of mooching off the system. Shamelessly preying on little-known street art and niche internet memes, she repackages them as bourgeois-friendly collages. So it's perhaps no wonder the New York Times has recently dubbed her, quote, a mind-blowing explorer of digital art's extreme possibilities, unquote. But in spite of all that, you absolutely love her as a person, even as you welcomed her by smacking the back of her head, a gesture meant to convey nothing but deep affection. Okay. No, but seriously, supporting young artists my ass. I don't know what kind of money you got for this piece, but I doubt it was even a fraction of what it's going to be worth in tax benefits. Okay. The gallery owner actually said that if he had to choose his most valuable audience, it would be the IRS, and I'm pretty sure he was only half kidding. You mumble a non-answer, and then segue into a different subject, trying to preemptively quell her repeated offers to get you a steady job. Of course, she proves as insistent as ever. You know, sometimes I just don't get you. On the one hand, you wouldn't be caught dead taking money from the inevitable winner of the culture wars. On the other, if someone gave you the chance to collaborate on some dumbass Oscar bait flick sponsored by Larry Ellison's bailout fund, you do that shit for free. She rolls her eyes and asks, You know what the only difference is between the art scene and the culture industry? The culture industry actually pays your bills. Okay. As expected of someone who's given up on attempts to infuse her work with any sort of enduring quality and decided to just keep responding to the zeitgeist. My head is spinning, honestly. Scribe's head is spinning right now. She claims to happily accept the fact that after she dies, both she and her work will end up in a landfill. Oh. When you respond that you prefer chasing a 1 in a million chance to immortalize yourself, she claims it reeks of an overinflated ego. Uh-huh. But you've been down this road too many times before and managed to accept she'll never understand what's truly important to you. Slowly but surely, you move on to more agreeable topics. Your plans to finally get hammered together. Okay. Or the most recent crop of garbage Netflix shows your friends have tricked you into trying out. Netflix, all right. All right, gotta go. I've got a date. She peeks at a bunch of middle-aged men in expensive suits who have stopped pretending to care about the exhibition and are exchanging the worst lecherous jokes they've got in their stale repertoire. Not lecherous jokes! Have fun with your friends, class traitor. Jesus. She gives you a hug and heads for a nearby elevator. There goes the pleasant part of the evening. Still, you decide to delay the inevitable and catch a quick smoke break. Truth be told, people aren't exactly lining up to chat about your work anyway. As you leave your post, you start tapping your pockets in search of a lighter. Instead, you find a $100 bill you're absolutely sure wasn't there before. Jesus Christ, Em, you're the worst and the best. You can feel your cheeks turn red, but you gratefully put the money in your wallet and move outside. Probably should be quotation marks around that first sentence there. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. When you reach the balcony, you look out at New York City and light the second last cigarette left in the pack. You're alone. It's not silent. The metropolitan hum is ever present, even this high up, but it's a good deal more intimate than what's behind your back. You lean over the railing and look down. The streetlights beckon more than usual. In your mind's eye, you see yourself as your final artwork, beautifully splattered all over the pavement. Oh, woe is me. Working title, Delusion of Grandeur. The author, a brilliant artistic soul crushed by unfeeling reality gone too soon. You chuckle and flick the cigarette into the air. Yeah, this guy's a born toreador. Freshened up by the night's cool breeze, you squeeze back into the stuffy interior. You barely make it a few steps before lethargy sets back in. It's like you never left. Still, something in the room feels different. Your eyes are drawn to a handsome young man, neatly dressed and groomed, exuding the air of a true artiste. And the best part? He is intently looking at your painting. Oh. The gallery is almost like an art installation itself now. People standing in silent awe. The guy like a beacon drawing everybody's attention. Oh yeah, he's a toreador. Probably using presence, a toreador power. Hushed conversations about the guest can be heard from every corner of the gallery. Your heart is pounding with excitement, and you approach, feeling like a kid trying to get close to a deer in the woods, but afraid you'll scare it away. Okay. The man turns to you, and you stop in your tracks. Entranced. Oh, entranced, you say. Entrancement is the name of one of the levels of that discipline. Presence. Ooh, look at that guy. Wait, he's got a pipe? Oh my. So, this is one of your pieces? You manage to mumble an affirmation. Tell me about it, please. As you start discussing your inspiration, technique, and process, the man's eyes lock onto the painting again. He keeps interjecting, making knowing remarks. This guy gets it. He really gets it. The world around you disappears. You'll say anything, do anything to keep his attention on you, but you realize you don't need to. He's into your art. He's into you. I want to buy it, and I want your company. I need to talk to you. You will like what I have to say. Spoken matter-of-factly, served straight up, like he knows that you won't refuse, that you can't refuse. An hour later, you find yourself at his apartment, one of many, you presume, with your self-esteem all but patched up and your head full of fine vintage. You tell your host a lot. In fact, it seems like you're telling him everything. Where you came from, how you ended up in New York City, how you had to take out a loan to appear at tonight's event, how you took the long look down the balcony. That you thought about taking the plunge and, this time, you were only half joking. You feel miserable. You start crying. He holds you in his arms. You feel calmer. The tears stop flowing. It's been so long since you last had someone who could not just talk to, who you could not just talk to, but communicate with, be seen by. Who knows? Maybe there is hope for you yet. That feeling of bliss is the last thing you remember before passing out. Uh-oh. Next thing you know, you're lying on the couch in that same apartment, hungry and dehydrated. How long has it been? Hours? Days? More? You're feeling weak, confused, abandoned. You look around in a panic. Is he still here? Thank God, yes. There he is, standing in the doorway. His voice breaks the silence and fills you with hope until you realize what he's saying. I'm so sorry. I hope that maybe one night you will forgive me. Always remember that in our parting moment, I wished you well. You try to speak, ask him to stay, but no voice leaves your parched throat. You taste something on your lips. Wiping your mouth leaves a crimson stain on your hand. It's not the wine. What the fuck? The door of the apartment closes behind him. Alone. Again. Then the pain hits. It's a headache, a lurching in your stomach, a burning in your arms and legs. It's all you can focus on. A panic takes you. You fall from the sofa and hit a wine glass. It flies off into a wall, shattering into bits. A mumble from the corner of the room indicates that you're not alone as you thought. Not as alone as you thought, pardon me. From where you're lying, you only see a feminine shape, stirring awake. Uh-oh, is this going to be the sister? I'm just guessing. You crawl towards the woman, inch by inch. The pain turns into an urge. You need to get close to her. You begin to see details. The long hair shrouding her face, the worn-out New York City hoodie thrown over her skimpy dress. She opens her eyes, moves her locks to the side, exposes her neck. A rabid instinct takes you. In the blink of an eye, you find yourself buried in her hair, smelling her sweat, mixed with just a hint of cheap perfume. You bite down and drink the blood from her vein. Wait. What is happening? You break away. You look at the girl. She lets out a sigh, goes limp and unconscious again. You try to crawl back. Her dress rolled up to the side, and you glance at her naked thigh. You lose control again. Oh no! Okay, it wasn't his sister. I thought it would be his sister, but I guess that's too vampire, if you've played that game. Bite her leg. Drink deep from the artery. It's intoxicating. It's bliss like you've never known before. It's beautiful. You break away again, fall to your back. What the hell was that? Did you really drink her blood? She's not moving. Oh God, she's not moving. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You check her pulse. She's cold to the touch. Nothing. No heartbeat. No sign of breathing. That's when it hits you. Your chest isn't moving either. Your heart is not beating. You are cold to the touch. You reach for your phone. It's not there. Where did you leave it? Or maybe he took it? Impossible to say. You stumble around the apartment, but find nothing you can use to call for help. You need to get out of here, now. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You look outside the window. You're high above the streets. There's no balcony, and the building's exterior is glass almost all the way down. You'd never survive the jump. Yeah, that's probably true. But maybe that's precisely why you should leave the room this way. You've just killed somebody. Your life is essentially over. A sickening void is opening in your stomach, warning you that your reality is about to turn into unbearable hell. A voice in the back of your head tells you that the smartest course of action is to take the leap before it does. And the more you argue with it, the more reasonable it sounds. You're just about ready to pick up one of the chairs and try to break the window when you hear the clicking of keys in the lock. You freeze in place. This is bad. Your thoughts start racing desperately, but instead of a rational course of action, only visions of false hope come to your mind. What if it's him? What if he's had a change of heart? What if he sent someone for me? You almost feel your heart beat again with excitement as the doors open. Almost, but not quite. A man enters, but not the one you expected. He's tall, broad-shouldered, handsome, with darkish skin. His suit is stylish and immaculate. You've never seen him in your life, but you immediately see past his sharp looks to see his sharper nature. He is a predator, and if you're not careful, you might become his prey. Good evening. I'm here to pick you up. A deep, emotionless voice. Okay. He turns his eyes to the lifeless body of the girl in the New York City hoodie and raises an eyebrow. Let's see. What shall I say? This isn't what it looks like, yeah. This isn't what it looks like. Please, you have to help me. That's what I'm here for, after a fashion. He approaches the bed to examine the corpse from up close. Well, this is unfortunate, but preferable to going insane from hunger. Quite a nice gesture, actually, if troublesome. He briefly looks at you with something like pity in his eyes, then changes his expression to a perfectly blank one. Listen, you may perceive your current situation as something out of the ordinary, but I've met hundreds of lost sheep like you, and you see, they tended to fall into two categories. First, there were the smart ones, those who carefully obeyed my every word and didn't pull off any stupid stunts. They always got to where they needed to go, safe and sound. Then there were the dumb ones, the punks who thought they could take me on, the wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission, the troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, a lot of them never reached their destination at all. The man talks in a bored, professional tone, giving off an impression that he really has delivered this speech countless times by now. So you see, despite being a smart person, I'm a Mets fan. I love baseball, and it inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system to determine if someone is dumb. If you get on my nerves 1 or 2 times, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful circumstances. But if you do it 3 times, understand that there will be no excuse, no forgiveness, no mercy. His presence changes ever so slightly. His presence, you say? Say, I understand, sir. Now. You feel an overwhelming, barely resistible urge to fulfill his demand. Let's see. I will... do I feel rebellious, or am I going to go along with this? Well, given the fact that I have a dead body there and he hasn't immediately tried to call the cops, I'm going to say, I understand, sir. I understand, sir. Excellent. All right. Have you got anyone you'd like to inform about your current situation and tell them you're all right? He flashes his fangs briefly as he talks, and for some reason, the sight causes a chill to run down your spine. Something's wrong with him. For some reason, the guy flashes fangs at you. Up to this point, you had no idea that vampires were real, and for some reason, him flashing his fangs at you sends a chill down your spine. Okay. Someone closest to you? Let's see. Do I tell him about my sister? Because that can make her a liability. But at the same time, I love her. Okay. Emma, my sister. She's probably having a night out in Brooklyn with her artiste friends. Can I call her now? You take out your phone while asking the question. It was in your pocket all along. It must have been panic talking before. He shakes his head and points at the hooded corpse next to him. If you want to implicate her, go ahead. I think we'd all be better off if you let me make sure that she only knows what she needs to know. Yeah, agreed. Okay. Give me her phone number. I'll have someone get in touch with her. You oblige and hand him the smartphone so he can copy the number from your list of contacts. Now, you're awfully trusting. Of course, if he's using presents, you really don't have a choice. Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this night onwards, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up with, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anybody know you're still alive. You're forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes to search for you, it's over, both for you and them. He interrupts his monotone recitation to stare deep into your eyes. So if you don't want someone to find your poor sister's body in the Hudson River next week, cooperate. The sight of his fangs again, and another physical fight or flight response. You've played right into his hands, putting M in danger. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. But I'm not thinking rationally. I just killed a girl. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. By now, you are absolutely sure he's just toying with you, provoking you just to feed on your reactions. He hasn't told you where you're going yet, but he's already made it abundantly clear that a lot of people struggled hard to avoid getting there. You'd be far more eager to cooperate if he never raised the subject, but he made it a point to make you fear the unknown. He's pushing you, but to what end? Does he want to intimidate you into complete submission? Is he hoping you'd give him an excuse to get rid of you? Or maybe he's testing you, forcing you to show what you're made of? Somehow, he makes all of these options seem plausible at once. All right, I think that's enough lectures for today. He takes a glance at his silver watch. It's a Patek Philippe, the kind of brand mere mortals never see outside of luxury lifestyle magazines. Just who are you dealing with here? It's past 3 a.m. now. The sun will come up in just a few hours, so we don't have much time. Come, we need to leave so that the corpse can be taken care of. He turns his back on you to unlock the door. Head out, attack him from the back, wait for the police. I don't know why I'd want to attack him. Do I want to wait for the police? No. No, he's scary, and I don't want to go to jail. He's going to take care of the body, and I'm a self-centered jerk, so I'm going to head out. Okay. You obediently follow him out of the room. Before he locks it again, you manage to take a final glimpse of the corpse. You feel a pang of conscience, but not because of your victim's horrible fate. It's because you don't feel guilty even though you know you should. Something important inside of you that was still there yesterday has definitely died tonight. You wonder if you'd even recognize yourself in the mirror. The stranger shows you to the elevator. You go to the ground floor. During an awkward ride, your dazed and confused mind desperately searches for a glimmer of hope and eventually comes across one. Maybe you'll find the man you met earlier this night. Yeah, who was that, or what did that man do to me? There we go. Why did that man target me? What was their motive? Okay. That's what I'd like to know. As of yet, he is unidentified. They have left no trace, and it's obvious they are not planning to come back for you. So how did you know to find me there? If, and that's a big if, you ever see them again, it will be tomorrow, and probably for the last time. For the last time? What do you mean, for the last time? His face is inscrutable. I said what I said. All I can add for now is, tomorrow is a big night for you. The elevator doors open to an empty hall. You walk outside, past the night guard's post, which is empty. The cold night air reminds you of the balcony, just a few hours ago. The man motions you to a black Cadillac Escalade. Take a seat in the back, please. You get inside. The man closes the car door behind you. You hear a click as it locks. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without comment. Well, if the side windows are light-proof, obviously the windshield isn't. Where are we going? Where are you taking me? A safe place. Forgive me, I'm not in a talkative mood. This won't be a long drive. Patience. Dead silence fills the car. You close your eyelids and sink back into your thoughts. A blurry afterimage of the man who bought your painting is still there. It's strange. You never felt this way about anybody. It makes you happy, even though you have the nagging thought that there is something fundamentally abusive about this attraction. Yeah, probably because you have a blood bond to this person, if that's still part of the universe. So you're kind of his blood slave, to a small extent. But then the girl's hair spilled over the purple hoodie. Was the hoodie purple? And her blood spilled over the cold floor come into sharp focus. You wince. You want to cry, but it's as if there were no more tears left in you. That's literally true. After what feels like an eternity, the car comes to a stop. You get out in an underground parking lot. It's an ugly, concrete, gray thing, empty but for the car you came in. It looks like there's a room beyond a metal door in the wall. Guess you'll live to see another night. Follow me. He opens the metal door and lets you inside. Here we are. These are your lodgings for tonight. If you get hungry, again, take a look in the fridge. Tomorrow, I will come pick you up. The cramped room has no windows, just a simple bed, a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, a small humming fridge, and a rattling AC fan in the wall. It has all the coziness of a solitary prison cell. You notice claw marks on the inner side of the entrance door. Let's see. I need medical help. I can't feel myself breathing. I can't sense my heartbeat. I need to go to a hospital, man. You're gonna be fine. Listen, normally I'd lose my nerve right now about... Right, let's try that again. Listen, normally I'd lose my nerve right about now, and things would get nasty. But I get it. You're scared. You don't understand what happened. Trust me, you will learn more tomorrow. But now, I need you to rest. And you need you to rest. He gestures inside the room. Finding no more willpower to resist, you step inside. The stranger nods contently. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very secure and sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid, unlabeled. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame, kind of grimy and damp. Seeing it makes you grimace, but you're just too tired not to lie down. Your entire body hurts, a dull feeling that makes you feel heavy. You feel vulnerable and lonely. Usually when that happened, you turn your attention to painting, just to not think about the alternative. Your family upbringing left you with no skills but artistic talent. Creating art used to be something of an unpleasant duty. Somewhere along the line, though, it became the only weapon you had to fight with existential despair. Some of your best work was created in lieu of impotently crying in bed. Jesus. Hell, you're pretty sure a few of those pieces had your tears mixed in with the paint, like the painting that led your whole night to this. You look back at your life, and it starts looking like a downward spiral. You are so tired, your entire body tenses up, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. And I think that's where we'll end episode 1, guys. So far, a little cliche, a little, I don't know, pompous, but then I guess that is the Toreador clan. Yeah, so I'll pick this up again soon. I'll probably post one of these once a week, or maybe twice a week. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Be sure to leave a like. I don't know that I'll end up doing any more game series after this, but depending on how much fun I have or how much fun you have, maybe I'll do more in the future. But with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And as always, thank you for watching.